หลังจาก EP ที่แล้วนะครับเราก็ปรับทุกความเข้าใจกันแล้วก็ยังไม่ได้ไปไหนเลยก็อยู่ในยานนี่แหละ
It's hard to believe, isn't it? I believe Shion is telling the truth.
หลายคนคงมีคำถามนะครับว่าทำไมเขาถึงยืนแยกกันแล้วค่อยคุยทีละคนสองคนมันน่าจะเป็นไดอะล็อกระหว่างคนสองคนเขาคุยกันนะครับคนอื่นไม่น่าจะไม่อยากให้รู้สักเท่าไหร่อะไรนะครับผมนะเป็นความคิดของคนสองคนแค่นั้นเองกลับพระเอกน่าจะสื่อมาประมาณนี้นะ
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
ช่วยน้องออนนะครับผมเป็นความคิดเห็นของทุกคนนั่นเองนะครับ
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadime, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too, to think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
เข้าใจกันแล้วก็กอดสักทีดิไม่กอดหรอกเหรอ
Everyone well rested?
โอเคปาร์ตี้เสร็จสิ้นไม่พักไม่ผ่อนกันเลย
Huh? Why are you staring at me?
เราจะกินอะไรดี Tech Up S EXP บูทแบตเตอร์อิเลเมนทัล HP S เค้ก EXP บูท EXP บูทนี่ยังไม่หมดอีกเหรอนี่ขนาดใช้ไปเยอะแล้วนะ L 20 นาที จัดไป
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
Make sure to get some good rest.
ไป
Alright, guys.
ตกแต่งก่อน แล้วพี่ก็เลิกใส่แว่นสักทีนะครับ มันมองไม่เห็นตานะครับ พี่ใส่อย่างอื่นดีกว่า เอาเป็นอะไรดีตุ๊กตานี่ไม่ต้องก็ได้มันดอกไม้เหรอ ใส่หูแล้วกันเนาะวิตะบองใหม่ครับเช็ดอันนี้แหละสวยแล้วปืนเจ๊ไม่มีอะไรใหม่นะครับโอเค
Ready to go?
ใส่ชุดนี้กันแหละไปกันได้เลย
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
อย่า
Speaking
พูด
of
เป็น
which,
ลางไม่ดีดิ
this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like,
Fall Knights.
huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but, well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
ไปก็ไปโอ้แล้วใครทำความสะอาดวะเนี่ย ตอนแรกหญ้าขึ้นเต็มเลยนะ สงสัยจะออกอัตโนมัติ แบบสตาร์ทเครื่องแล้วแบบหญ้าหล่นเลยอะไรประมาณเนี้ย It's magic วิออกนอกโลกแล้วครับผม
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so...
ไม่เคยออกนอกโลกเลยใช่ไหมล่ะ
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion?
โอ้
You seem a little
ต้องคุยกับทุกคนอีกแล้วครับ
Different.
Is
โอ
something
เค แต่ในยานนี้ไม่น่าจะมีอะไร
YouTube doesn't that
เยอะแยะนะครับ
it is.
ส่วนมากก็จะคุยกัน
see?
Dohalim?
Forgive me. Come back and
Beyond that wall lies a city full
รี
of
กรุ๊ป
ruins.
ครบทีม
The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who
ไม่เอา
knows what will
อันนี้
find
น่าจะ
on the
กลับ
other
นะ
side.
กลับขึ้นยานนะหรือกลับไปที่เมืองที่โลก เอ้าโหข้างในไม่ได้สวยหรูเหมือนข้างนอก ทำไมคนมันน้อยๆนะ ไม่เหมือน Assassin's Creed เลย Assassin's Creed มีคนเยอะกว่านี้อีก แน่นอนนะ เกมนี้ไม่เน้นการต่อสู้
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
the very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
อืม
Avakir,
จำเราได้ด้วยเหรอ
I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
เพื่อนเก่าอ่ะ
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
ดูเหมือนว่าเดฮารินจะมี
I've no doubt of
ความหวัง
that.
หลายอย่างนะ ความหลังนะ ความหลัง
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people
สงสัยตลอดเลยรอ
in
เนี่ย
the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people
Oui.
freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
หาก่อนแล้วกันทุกพี่ไม่นายไม่มีผมอะ
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zugals have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris?
จำกันได้ด้วย
I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed.
อ๋อยานลำนั้นคือยานของเดฮารินเหรอ
The Ilkaris house has
ยานลำที่เรา
produced many lords over the
ขี่มา
centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
แน่นอนครับ ของก็ต้องมา นี่อะไรอ่ะฮิวโน่นเลยวิมาฮิวได้ด้วย ก็ฮิวกันได้นี่หว่าแต่คนที่เราไปช่วยฮิวน่ะน่าจะหมอน่าจะมาไม่ทันนะครับจริงๆอยากจะแต่งตัวดาฮารินแบบแปลกๆแหละแต่ด้วยความที่มีคนนับถือเยอะ มีคนรู้จักเยอะ
Wow, this place is
ก็เลยแต่งตัวแบบ
beautiful.
มีระดับไว้ก่อน
It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan.
เพื่อน4 คนเพื่อน3 คน
That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect. in a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
มีคนแอบดูจ้ะ
Alphen,
ใครเหรอจ๊ะ
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to
แน่นอนครับ
support
ตรงนี้คือโรงแรม
It goes
Hey.
both ways.
แต่ว่าเราจะพักผ่อนยังไงอะเนี่ย
Keep going more times than I
ดูก่อนนะจ๊ะ มีอะไรหรือเปล่า ชุดเกราะ เจ๊จัดไป ซื้อแล้วใส่เลย ไม่ต้องคิดอะไรมากบวกเพิ่มอยู่แล้วเพราะชุดที่ใส่ชุดที่เราใส่นี่ก็คือมันบวกน้อยกว่า ก็คือคิดง่ายๆเลยครับไม่ต้องไปคิดอะไรเยอะเฮ้ยเฮฟวี่ว่ะนี่เราต้องใช้นี้แล้วเอาเยอะๆ49จัดไปเฮ้อแมททีเรียไม่มีขายเลย เซ็งเป็ด
Maybe, but I still
For their resistance.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid
ท
fighting
หาร
them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
เราต้องจัดการยามก่อน
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menentia. I
ต้อง
command
สตัน
The rest of the city must be erased.
ตันมันก่อนสตันมันก่อน
They've been brainwashed too.
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
อุ้ยโดนดูดโดนดูด
Astral energy!
Say no more.
That's my cue.
Shut him down.
Those soldiers seem
Boy,
different
young
from
lad.
the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah.
They weren't in the...
Indeed, and yet
They're
I've never
นานมากแล้วที่ไม่ได้สู้เนี่ย ตั้งแต่เล่น EP นี้มาเนี่ย ไม่ได้สู้เลย 800นะครับเฮ้ย ไม่ได้เหรอ ไปทางไหนวะเนี่ย ตรงนี้ไปไม่ได้ทางตัน สวัสดี 44
Now you see what I can do.
Raging cascade! Each stroke!
Your reflexes will not serve you well here. Thank you. You seem smelling to me.
Yeah. And the
You picked the wrong fight. I'm ready. In an instant.
แตกหมดอะ
Leave the chargers to me.
take this.
My astral energy!
Double demon fang.
Step back. This one's all law.
ก็มาดิครับ อุ้ย แมงอะไรวะตะกะแตนตำข้าวสีเขียว ลบ
Now you see what I can do.
You're mine.
Resonate with me. If it's in the sky, it's mine!
On your knees.
Rising
This'll bring you down!
I'm just getting started.
double demon fang. Sword Rain Alpha.
Feel! Not in your dreams!
Elusive deity. First strike. Rotating pile driver. Trouble.
Savage roar.
Feel! Dance in the wind!
Raging
In here!
sword. Now I'm in the blue. I'll
ถัดไป
crush you. Lightning reflexes. Tenebrous claw.
ปื๊บ แรงไหม
I'm on it. Already can't get out of this.
You picked the wrong fight.
Dragon shout.
If it's in the sky, it's mine! More where that came from!
Leave the chargers to me.
Not in your dreams!
จัดไปเจ๊ทั้งสอง
Denied.
Flaming thrust.
A new melody.
Hurricane thrust.
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Xion, astral energy! Full throttle!
ปื๊บ อย่างแรง
I'm ready for the next battle.
ไปใช้ยานซะหน่อยที่เราซื้อมาเนี่ยเอฟวี่ไอ้นี่เพิ่มซะโหดเลยเอาเดี๋ยวรู้เรื่องครับ มา จะเป็นใคร
No choice.
ที่ก็เดี๋ยวจัดการให้ได้
Now you see what I can do.
Ignite.
เบรกเรียบร้อย
I'm ready now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. No further. Be my guest.
Confiscated. This one's mine.
ปึ๊บ
Ready to go. Demons descend.
Flashing fang!
Dance in the wind. Dragon.
เรียบร้อย
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
ของดีโอ้โหมันเฝ้าแบบ เราไม่มีทางที่นี่ไปได้อุ้ยไม่ได้อีกเหรออะไรกันครับเนี่ย
How long are we gonna keep this up for exactly?
มา
I'll trip it up.
I'm ready. Astral energy.
Say no more.
Raging storm.
Snake of the abyssal deep. No further.
Primed and ready. Kisara frozen.
Hammer.
ปราบน้ำแข็งเต็มเรียกว่าโล่น้ำแข็งนะจ๊ะ
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
เอ้าอ๋อถูกทางแล้ว
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
An opponent like this should be easy.
Raging storm. Where are you going? Dance in the wind. Prayer strike. I think I'll pass on the handshake.
You picked the wrong fight.
Pieces. You're mine.
Now,
Now you see what I can do.
I'll be safe this way. Raging storm. I'll stop its charge. Thanks, Kisara.
No escape.
I'm ready.
มา ตัดไป
Scarlet Inferno.
ตายไหมโอ้โหไม่ตายอีก ยอด
Where are you going? Raging storm. Confiscated.
Negative gate. Now I'm in trouble.
Raging
I can do this all day. Here we go. I can carve through armor.
magic is in.
You're done. Eagle dive. I'm ready.
Dohalim.
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis.
ยังโหด
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
ไหนดูไหนวะรอนี่ติดบ่อยมากเลยอ่ะ ติดท่าไม้ตายบ่อยมาก
Little help.
Shouldn't have messed with me.
Tempest. These ones can break around us.
Dragon Scout. Tectonic Warblade.
Wind Astral ready. This one's mine. Blah 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 magic.
Raging
Holy
Lunar
Wind.
Watch this.
เอ้ากดไม่ทันชิบหายแล้ว
All energy.
Not in your dreams.
I'm on it.
Raging storm.
Eagle dive. Steel.
Demon Fang. Demon Fang.
Light Astral energy.
Now I'm in the groove. Too slow.
Blah 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 magic.
Now you see what I can do. Select my no further.
ปื๊บมันจัด
Seems about right to me.
คนอื่นไม่มีท่าไม่ตายเลย รอนี่กดอยู่คนเดียวเฮ้ย
Right, here goes!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
I never quit.
Take this!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that.
โอ้ยโดนดูโดนดูโดนดูโดนดูโดน
Negative gate.
Not on my watch.
Resonate with the earth.
Flame inside! Take care! To be let free!
Listen.
Do it! Rising Falcon!
Clear
You
for
picked
us.
the wrong time!
Can't get out of this.
You're finished!
Now,
Azure Storm!
Light burst forth.
radiant citizen.
ปาบแรงจัดจัด
Now you see what I can do.
Done!
Raging cascade. Now, astral energy.
Say no more!
โยอย่าให้พี่โหดนะบอกเลย
Gotta break through!
Bring you down.
Gate!
We
อุ้ยโดนโดนโดนโดนโดนโดน
See what happened there as you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that. Another incantation ruined. Listen. Eagle fly. Now I'm in the groove.
กดไม่ทันอีกแล้ว
What's in the sky is mine.
Eat that in a bite. Eagle fly.
raging storm. Swarm flight.
Crumble. Eat this. I'll run you through.
Like astral energy.
You picked the wrong fight!
Dance in the wind. In here.
Burn up.
Now, astral energy.
Say no more!
Illuminate the
Raising you up high.
สวย
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
โอ้ยตังค์โคตรเยอะเลยกว่าจะมาถึงจุดนี้ได้ก็คือ ก่อนหน้านี้คือได้ทีละน้อยๆมากเลยอะ
Tell me, Dohalim.
And what's,
You know what?
I'm afraid
I do. Look and put.
I would never.
So there.
Now you've got me.
If you've a.
Hey, I can bear.
I wasn't.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was sovereigns only.
Alvin.
Yes! It opened!
เจเดอร์
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
ความทรงจ
Alphen.
ำสมัยยังอยู่ที่นี่
You again.
เธออีกแล้วเหรอ
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll
น้อง
find
ออน
out
แน่ๆ
our
เลยเนี่ย
parts as the sovereign and maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris.
เนลลี่
Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay
Bye.
sharp.
Bye
After that
ต่อ
last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
นี่ไงตรงนี้ recover เรียบร้อย ไม่ต้องเติมเลือดให้มันเปลืองไอ้รอบอกว่าหน้าตาเธอเหมือนชีออนเลยอ่ะ อ้าว ใครกันครับพี่
Varia, how did you get in here?
พาเรีย
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
เฮ้ย เศษลูกแก้วสีวิญญาณสีม่วง หรือว่าจะเป็นผู้อารักขาเซโชมารูโอ้ my god บอส
A summoning?
But that's preposterous.
ซัมมอนเหรอ
She never had that kind of power
We
when...
can talk later. Here it comes.
เดี๋ยวค่อยคุยทีหลัง จัดการให้หมอนี่ก่อนเวล45 เชดโด
Varia to control Truggles like that before.
How about with the stone that looks suspiciously like a math report?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the zoo. Then we get some in.
แตก แตกแล้วหนึ่ง
In a vine.
จัดให้เต็มสกิล เฮ้ย ลบ
Not on my watch. Let the marksman in. I'll stop its charge. Thanks, Kisara.
ปาบติดสตันไปดิ
Bring you down. Nothing gets by me.
Won't escape me.
Not on my watch. Ready to ride. Blast the shot.
ลบ ติดตันไปติดตันไป
Now you see what I can do. You're finished. I'm ready.
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
ผู้ตายอ่ะ บอกเลย
Where are you going? Light after It's about to strike.
ลบกันลบกันลบกันมันก็ยังมาโดนเนาะ
Can't get out of this.
เฮ้ยลบลบลบลบลบลบชิบหายละเอฟวีจัดไป1 ดอก ตันไป
Smash you. Tornado drive. I'm on it.
Where are you going?
Denied. Talent score.
Here goes. Not on my watch.
I really owe you one.
ลบลบลบลบลบลบ
Raging cascade.
Take it. Azure storm. Elusive steed. Almost there.
Or close enough. Take it away, Law.
I thought you'd never ask.
Azure storm! Not today!
เบรกเรียบร้อย
Primed and ready. Holy land. Bring you down. Here goes. Not on my watch.
ไม่รอดหรอกบอกเลย
Holy land!
All yours, Kisara.
เอ้ยเพชรเขียวเดลินคอมโบคิซาร่าเพิ่งจะเจอเนี่ยเมื่อกี้
Now it's just her. Faria, can you hear me? Faria.
นี่ฉันเองจำไม่ได้หรอ เพื่อนไงเพื่อนไงจำไม่เพื่อนไม่ได้เหรอ น่าจะโดนบังคับจิตใจอยู่ โอ้โห ยิงเลยแหละครับ
Forgive me.
อุ้ยท้อง นี่นะครับ จีบสาวก็อย่างนี้แหละ ตุ้ยท้องเลยนะ
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we
น้อง
could
ออน
help
งง
Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
ทีมเวิร์คครับผม โอเค